Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Awesome Cook. I'm Jake Sikora, and on this week's episode, I am going to do a dish for a meal that I haven't done any recipe for, and that is a breakfast dish. This is going to be a French toast casserole, my way, of course, and it's going to serve 10 people at 5 Weight Watchers Smart Points per serving. So let's get started. So these are the items that you'll need for this recipe. So the base of this French toast casserole, of course, it's going to be a bread, and you want to be careful because, of course, this is where most of your points and calories are going to come from. It's from the bread, and I chose this is from a local company. It's called Aunt Millie's, but you probably can find a bread if you don't have Aunt Millie's by you. Something similar to this. This is a 35 calorie whole grain bread. And I really enjoy this bread because one, it's low in points, and it's just very hearty looking. If you look at it, you can see all the grains in there. I really enjoy that bread. I'm also using 2 cups of, and I'm lactose intolerant, so I'm using almond milk. Then this is a unsweetened vanilla type, and you can choose if you want to do coconut milk if you're lactose intolerant. If you want to use regular milk, that is fine too. I am also using a tablespoon of butter. This is a non-dairy. This is a vegan buttery stick. You're welcome to use whatever kind of butter you would like to use. I am using nutmeg, some cinnamon, some vanilla extract. I'm using brown sugar. This is the light kind of brown sugar. I'm using eggs, and you're going to use 10 eggs for this. And this is some syrup. You can use maple syrup. I'm using sugar-free syrup. So these are the ingredients. So let's start on preparing this casserole. Okay, so we're going to do this recipe in 2 parts. In this big bowl, and here's the reason why we got such a large bowl. It's 10 eggs that we're using. There's 2 cups of the almond milk in here. We're going to add the syrup in here. This is a third of a cup of the sugar-free syrup. And then we're going to use a teaspoon of vanilla extract. A quarter teaspoon of nutmeg. Dumping some in there. That's all right. Half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Then we're going to whisk these together. Adding those spices that already smells like what French toast is supposed to smell like here. Last bit off of there. So the next thing we're going to do, I cubed up the loaf. We're using the whole loaf of bread. That's why I said this is the reason why we want the big bowl. Because we want to make sure and gently stir the bread mixture around. You want to make sure that you coat the bread very well with this egg mixture, because you don't want any dry pieces of bread. You want this to taste like French toast. You don't want to taste bread. So really dig deep down there. Looks like this is covered. So next, I'm bringing back this casserole dish that held the cube pieces. I've sprayed this with non-stick spray. I use the butter kind because you enhance that flavor. French toast with butter without having to use it. So we're just going to gently spread the French toast mixture throughout the casserole dish. And this is a large casserole dish. And you can edit this recipe if you don't want to make such a big amount. You can make half the loaf and do a little bit half the ingredients. So half the eggs, just a cup of milk. You can always add milk. You can always add eggs if you need to, if it's not enough for the bread mixture. Of course, you can make more casserole if you're expecting a lot of people over. So, looks pretty even. So the next thing why I say this is a two-step process is that we're going to put a piece of foil on here and put this in the refrigerator overnight. So you want to plan ahead if you're going to make this, and this will gel these flavors into the casserole. So again, we're going to put this foil on, keep it on overnight, and then I'll come back tomorrow morning and we'll finish it up and enjoy it. Good morning, everybody. So I brought out the casserole. It was in the refrigerator overnight. So I have 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and a tablespoon of the vegan buttery sticks. Again, you can use regular butter if you wish, or any kind of light buttery spread that you wish to use. What I did with the butter, I made them into little cubes, and then I am pressing these in the brown sugar mixture. If you have dark brown sugar, you can use it. I don't think there's a huge difference in what you use. I have light brown sugar because that's what I use the most in my baking recipes. So that's not going to be a real big issue. So what you want is to make sure that it gets into a crumbly, you can see it's starting to, in this crumbly mixture. You don't want it to be very grainy, sugary still. You want it to be kind of a clumpy mixture. Because what we're gonna do next, here's the casserole. We're gonna spread this over the casserole. It's going to help give it that sweetness, buttery taste that we love about French toast. Okay, so we're gonna put this in the oven. I preheated the oven at 350 and it's going in for 50 minutes. It's 50 minutes, and we'll come back and serve it up. All right, so we're back. It's been 50 minutes. Here's the finished product, and it smells amazing. So I'm going to cut it up here in a second, and I'm going to show you how to portion it out. Again, this is for 10 people, so I will be right back. Okay, so I portioned this out, and I'm going to show you this square right here, and I'm going to show you my plate. So this is what one portion, a 5-point portion, so decent size that of the casserole. So I'll be right back and we'll try it out. Okay, so we're going to try a little bit of it. It's still warm. Took a little bit too big a bite, but it smelled so good. This is fantastic. It is amazing taste to it. You can taste that brown sugar on top. You can always add some more syrup on the top, fruit on the top, which I'm going to add some fruit. I love fruit and get my fruit for the day. Blackberries, strawberries are my favorite to put on it that I have here. You can even put a little Cool Whip and anything you want. Again, this dish serves 10 people, 5 smart points per serving, and it's a healthy take on a great breakfast treat. So please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Leave comments. Thank you again for all who comment on any of my social media posts. And of course, on Weight Watchers Connect, you can find me at JASIKORA 1981. That's JA Sakura 1981. Until next Monday, see ya. Stay awesome.